Fish in a Tree by Linda Mullally Hunt. Chapter 19. Not So Sweet Secret. Just as I thought, my mother smiles when she sees Albert, Keisha, and me walk into Peterson's. She seats us in a booth right in the middle of the restaurant and takes our order. Keisha sits next to me, and Albert fills a good part of the seat across from us. So, Keisha begins, thanks for inviting us for ice cream. You're welcome. Must be cool to come here every day, she says. Is the ice cream free? Albert asks. My mom doesn't let me have ice cream more than once a week, and it isn't free, but we get it for half off, I think, I tell them. Albert fidgets a bit. So, do either of you ever miss Mrs. Hall? Our old teacher, Mrs. Hall? I say. She was okay, but I like Mr. Daniels way more. He's nice. He is? Keisha says. Goofy, but in a good way. Yeah, I say. I do not think he is a trusting person, Albert says. Mr. Daniels? I ask. Albert rubs his palms on the top of his jeans. He inquired about my bruises. I think he hypothesized that they came from my parents. Then I had to speak to the school psychologist. He shifts in his seat. My parents rescue insects and arachnids from our home, taking them out rather than killing them. It's illogical for my parents to save spiders and hit their own son. I look over at Keisha, hoping she knows what to say. She doesn't. I take a deep breath. Well, Albert, even I've wondered where those bruises come from. His voice is quiet, like a boy, not a robot version of one. There's a group of boys. I meet them many days after school. You meet them? Keisha asks. Well, no, he says. They meet me. I'm sorry, I say. He nods once and then stares at the floor. Can you tell anyone? I ask. Albert shrugs. Well, do you at least hit them back? Keisha asks. I don't believe in violence. And, anyway, it seems to me that big kids would get the blame in the fight. No one's going to think a big kid like me didn't start it. So they would assume I give the punches, not receive them. He stares at his vanilla ice cream, then looks up, maybe a little happier. This reminds me of ice cream on Ellis Island. You may have a skull full of brains, but again, Albert, no sense, Geisha says. When the immigrants came to America through Ellis Island, they would sometimes get ice cream for a treat. But they didn't recognize ice cream. They thought it was butter, so they spread it on toast. We laugh. I think this is like that. Those boys just think I'm a fighter, so they, well, fight me. No, Albert, Keisha says. They think you won't fight. They think you'll just keep being their punching bag. That's why they fight you. His eyebrows scrunched up. Albert, this is no joke, Keisha says. They leave nasty marks on you. Don't your parents get mad? My mother would hunt down anyone who did that to me. My father is busy with his inventions, and my mother has other things to worry about. You should ask them for help, I say. I think Keisha's right. He shrugs. I don't want help. I should be able to solve this. Albert, Keisha says, her dark eyes wide and angry. You can solve this. Just don't let those boys pound on you. You say you're bigger than they are. Yes? I call them the fire ants, a group of small beings that can become overwhelming. I laugh, but I'm sad on the inside. No, seriously, Albert. Keisha is downright mad now. Teach them a lesson. Hit them back. I don't think it is within my nature to hit someone. I will not meet violence with violence. I won't stoop to their level. Stoop to their level, I ask. If I act like them, I am no better, he says. Well, I say this is like trying to give Jello a spine, Keisha says. Albert squints, which makes me wonder if he's actually mad. Some of the most lethal creatures on Earth are invertebrates. Don't throw that science at me, Keisha says. All I know is you need to stick up for yourself. If you just let them do that, it's like you're telling them it's okay. Albert stays quiet. Kiesha's voice is no longer soft. I just don't get it, Albert. What in the world would it take for you to fight back? Albert looks upset. I know Kiesha is trying to help him, but I think it's like throwing him an anchor for a life jacket. So, Albert, you've always liked science, I ask, trying to get another conversation going, but Kiesha gasps and looks at the ceiling, frustrated with Albert. Yes, Albert says, but Allie, I would like to ask you a question. Sure, go ahead. She is not kind to many people, but I have observed that she is the most unkind to you, and I don't understand it. Do you know why? Yeah, Kiesha says. She really does seem to have it in for you. Yeah, well, oh, is there a story? Kiesha says. I just love a good story. There's no story. I won the art award last year. She was mad about that. Oh no, there's more of a story, all right. Now spill it. Let's just say she holds grudges. Spill it. Use the word grudges, and there's really got to be a good story. Well, on my second day here last year, I'd bought a bag of cheese crackers at lunch. I was assigned to sit next to her, which she wasn't so happy about. I was almost done with my sandwich when she grabbed the bag of crackers from the table and ripped them open and ate them. Are you kidding? She did that? I nod. I really don't want to finish the story. She is unbelievable, Kiesha said, shaking her head. Anyway, I kind of had this habit of doing things without thinking. Well, I pause. I used to do it even more than I do now. So when she took a piece of cake out of her lunchbox, I reached over, sunk my fingernails through the frosting, grabbed a hunk, and stuffed it in my mouth. Kiesha hangs over the table laughing while Albert looks like I stuck him with a pin. You did that? He asks, wide-eyed. And then, I really don't want to tell them this. While I lick the frosting off my fingers, I ask, so, how do you like that? I cringe when I think of Shay's face. Total surprise followed by looking at me like I was a disease on 2 feet. And somehow, deep down inside, I knew I'd pay for that forever. Kiesha is still laughing. That is the best. More people ought to put that girl in her place. She walks all over everybody. I kind of think out loud. She thought I was a freak. She deserved it. Just taking your food like that? Are you kidding? Well, the thing was, I say, and then I stop because I can't quite push out the rest. I was mad that she'd eaten my crackers, but when lunch was over, I reached into my jacket pocket and found mine. Kiesha laughs loud and long, while Albert raises his eyebrows. Wait, Albert says. She didn't actually eat yours? I shake my head. So she thinks you grabbed a hunk of her cake for no reason? Kiesha asks. Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. Kiesha's laughter gets even louder just as my mother is looking across the restaurant, giving me the look. Kiesha leans against me and says, Okay, I admit it. That's the best story I've heard in my whole long life. Allie Nickerson, if I didn't love you already for that flower thing you pulled, I think I may love you for that. Chapter 20. Is this a good thing? I heard the front door slam and Travis calls for me. He sounds happy. I mean, really happy. He appears in the doorway of my room. Guess what? What? I ask. But he doesn't answer. He just stands there with a big, dumb grin on his face. And then I notice what he has in his hand, and I jump up. You got it? Really? He still doesn't answer. He just shakes the keys like a baby rattle. So we run outside, and sitting there at the curb is a surprise, but not the kind of surprise I'd hoped for. I know it doesn't look like much, but he's wrong. It looks like a lot. It's enormous and bright green. I mean, seriously, it's like a pickle with tires. No, I say, it's cool. You can't lie to me, Squirt. I know you too well. Why are there lines on it? I ask, leaning in. Oh, well, I guess the guy that had the car painted it with a brush instead of a spray gun. I'll have to sand that out. And strip the chrome on the side. But the engine is good. It's going to fly. The only way this thing is going to fly is if he straps it to a giant balloon. A sketchbook picture is already drawing itself in my head. And there are no computers in in a car this old. It's just man and his machine. I look up. Is that really a good thing? He shoves me a little. You'll love it when it can take us places. To the beach? Six Flags? I look up quick. Really? Whenever you want to go, Squirt. I had never imagined that his car would be our car and that it would take me places. You want to take it out now with me? Sure. Am I pushing or pulling? You're going to be sorry you dissed this beauty. I'm telling you, you've got to be loyal to your car. Travis, you do know it's only a car, right? Only a car, he asks. Only a car? He runs to the other side and slides in. He unlocks the door for me and I get in. It's a big bench seat. The Walking Liberty $50 hangs from the rearview mirror. It makes me feel like Dad and Grandpa are with us. When he turns on the engine, it sounds like a giant with a bad cough. We head up Farmington Avenue past St. Thomas Church. It had been raining all morning and now it started again. Big drops of rain fall on the windshield like bombs. Travis says a bad word, pulls over, and grabs a silver spring and a piece of wet rope from the glove compartment. What are you doing? He jumps out into the rain, grabbing the windshield wiper on my side and connecting it to something at the bottom of the window with the spring. Then he ties the wiper to the second wiper and throws a rope through his window and jumps in, laughing and dripping wet. What the heck are you doing? I ask. 3 hours, he says. What are you talking about? 3 hours after this thing was registered this morning, the wiper motor went. So I went by the hardware store and rigged this up. Watch. With his left arm, he pulls the rope, and then the wiper clears the window of water. Then he lets go, and the spring yanks them back down, slapping the bottom of the window. Hey, I thought you said you were a genius, I joke. I am. All geniuses deal with bugs in the system. Isn't that more what anteaters do? Hilarious, he laughs. Isn't it a little hard to drive and do that? You're right, Squirt. You can do the wipers, he says, throwing the rope into the back seat. Climb over and sit behind me. Okay, I say, climbing over the seat. I give the rope a pull and then let go, and the wipers slap up and down. It's kind of fun to see the wiper clear the window, make the blurry clear. And then I think about the great drawing this will be later, and I'm happy for the weird pickle-colored car. Wow, this is fun. And hard, I tell Travis. My arm is getting tired. He watches me in the rearview mirror and laughs. I laugh too, and it makes pulling the rope even harder. We pull up to a red light, and Travis tells me to look at the face of the lady riding in the car next to us, and I do. She looks shocked, and I think her expression is the funniest thing I've ever seen, until I see Shay sitting next to her. As soon as Mr. Daniels steps into the hallway to talk to another teacher, Shay says in her "I'm being loud on purpose so everyone can hear me" voice, "So, Jessica, yesterday I saw that Allie riding in this disgusting green-colored car that I can't believe was even allowed on the road. Allie had to pull a rope to even get the windshield wipers to work." "You must be joking," said Jessica. "Allie, what junkyard did you find that heap in?" Jessica laughs like she's supposed to. I try to ignore them. My mom has always said, you just ignore mean people because they're only trying to get a rise out of you. I mean, what kind of loser would have a car like that? Probably the only thing your mother can afford. Finally, I can't take it. It's my brother Travis's car, and it is not a loser car. Oh no, It's a loser car, all right. I guess that makes your brother Travis a loser. They laugh. I didn't think there could be a bigger loser than you, Allie, but I guess I was wrong, Shay says. Shut up, I say to Shay, just as Mr. Daniels walks back in. You're the losers, you, not him. Allie? Mr. Daniels calls. Come here, please. What? I ask, trying not to sound disrespectful. I haven't known you to name call before. They can call me anything they want, and believe me, they do. But they can't say anything about Travis. Never. Is Travis your older brother? He's my big brother. He half smiles. Is there a difference? Yeah, there is. An older brother is older. A big brother looks out for you and smiles when you walk into a room. He nods slowly. I see. He clears his throat. I understand you're upset, and I appreciate that you're defending your brother, but walk away next time, okay? I nod, but I have to admit that I'm getting awfully tired of walking away.